on. Make sure you have your cameras on. I'm just trying to help one more person join. All right, so we're gonna move forward. This person is getting set up. And let's see. Make sure your cameras are on. This is very, very important. If you guys are doing this for the first time, then you need to have your cameras on in order for it to count towards your 75 hours. All right. Very, very important. Just so you guys know, we're also live on YouTube. They cannot see you, but they can see me. And any questions you guys have, I will once in a while show the chat so they can see this whole screen. So any questions you guys have will pop up here. And the reason why I do this mainly is to help people that are on YouTube searching for answers. So they get to participate in our classes. They get to learn or put in whatever questions they have. It doesn't count towards the hours if they're on YouTube, but it does count as assistance, as support. And I've had some success in helping a few people passing their school exam and their state exam. So I'm looking forward to keep on helping those on YouTube, and obviously helping you guys as well here live. Okay. Now, there's just one person signing up, still struggling, but we're going to move forward. So my name is Bruno, as you guys can tell. Some of you already know, but my name is Bruno. I'm the instructor of New Direction School. And this school, just a quick intro to the school and to the course. This school hasn't been around for that long, although I've been teaching for way longer. Just decided to, about a year and a half ago, decided to open up my own school. I have different views, different ways of putting things together, and been very successful in that way. I've been a real estate investor for almost 16 years. And at one point I was pushed onto stage to speak to other investors or upcoming investors. And even though I was very scared when I got on stage, let's say, it actually felt good, and I gained a passion for teaching and started teaching real estate investing at that point, together with the mentor that pushed me on stage. My background is IT, and if you guys ever see the setup that I have here, I got like 10 monitors going on. If you guys ever come to check out the school, 10 monitors going on just to provide this to you. I did create a student portal, which you guys can have access to. I'm going to show it to you real quick. So this is our student portal. So when you signed in, when you paid for the course, you at the end of the purchase says access your purchase now, or access your membership now. If you did not, let me know. Send me a message on the WhatsApp group. If you don't have the WhatsApp group, then I'm going to give you my contact in a little bit. But send me a message and I'll show you how to get here. But if you see in the student portal, right, we have a direct link. Every day is going to be refreshed. We have for the evening class in this case. This will change for the morning class, obviously. So right before the class, this will be updated. You guys can just click the link and it will take you straight into the Zoom session. I also announce it on the Facebook group and I announce on the WhatsApp group. And the only reason why I have all these groups is that not everybody's tech savvy. So some people, and some people don't have social media. So they have WhatsApp, but they don't have Facebook, or they have the Facebook, but don't have WhatsApp. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for everybody to be able to join the classes, right? The other thing I have here is also our YouTube live stream and our YouTube channel. Let's say you guys are done with the chapter, or you're in the morning, you just want to pick up the live class as well, but don't want to be in the Zoom, or you're on the go, whatever. You click here and it will take you to the live session that's going on right now. So if I'm in the morning class, you click on it, you just listen, whatever works for you, okay? But that is there as well. I do highly recommend that if you go to our YouTube channel, you click subscribe, because as soon as a new class is popping up or a new channel, or a new chapter, you'll get a notification, hey, we're going live. So very simple. The first thing you guys have right here, if you see, and this will answer some of the questions. I did not read your questions yet. Okay, I noticed that Mr. Badur, you asked a question, so I didn't answer yet. But this will probably answer some of it. I created the student portal right here. You see new real estate salesperson, New Jersey. It says new. Let me close this. And this is the old. The old because I was using Dearborn edition. So that's the book that we were using before. Now we're using a different book. And your session, your current session will use this book. So it's right here. Everything chapter per chapter, right? If you're using Dearborn edition and for some reason you still want to follow that one, it's perfectly fine. Everything is here, right? All the chapters as well. What I want to show you is the first thing we have here is access to course resources, okay? And under course resources, as we keep on adding, you have the Facebook group. You have the WhatsApp group for you to join directly. You can download your ebook. So if you want to have, like right now, the way I'm doing even to present this, I'm doing per chapter. So I broke everything per chapter and I open up this chapter alone. Like I don't use the whole book. I just open this chapter alone. It's up to you if you want to download per chapter or if you want to download the whole book, right? I'm going to show you how to download per chapter as well. We have a Quizlet. And the Quizlet's more like flashcards to be easier to associate things. So the only reason why I like Quizlet is exactly that. It's like quick association, which is going to be useful when you're taking the exam. I don't use it to pass an exam. I use it to start associating things as we go. So this is the only one that I recommend you guys do right now. Okay, like start getting into it. Hold on just one second. All right. So it's the only thing that I recommend you guys do right now. As you finish each chapter or day, I'm sorry, I'll go here and practice. You want to watch previous chapters, you want to watch previous videos, you want to watch our Q&As, then you click on this one. It'll take you to the YouTube channel itself, and that's where you're able to also subscribe. You want to watch the live classes, here's just an additional link. Once you complete 90% of the course, so let's say we're in our final week, you complete 90% of the course, you're going to click on this and it's going to take you to a practice exam. All right, now a practice exam is like a mock exam of what the school and state exam will be. It gives you pretty much 4 hours, up to 4 hours to complete, just like the state exam. Gives you 110 questions, just like the state exam, right? and it only gives you one question per page, just like the state exam. All right. It also allows you to bookmark the question for you to move forward and then come back to it later. All right. So it's great. I try to make it as close to what the state exam is as possible, so you guys are ready. Once you're ready to get fingerprinted to do your background check, which is a requirement, I'll talk about that at a later time more in detail. Once you do that, you're going to click Get Fingerprinted. It takes you to a page where it gives you a video on how to schedule your fingerprints. You click here to schedule. Fingerprint form information is right there. All right. And then the next one is as soon as you pass the state exam, as soon as you pass the school exam, you click here to schedule your state exam. Okay, so I'm going to have to upload you to the system, to their system, but this is where you click to activate it. All right, now real quick, let me show you what else we have here. I'm going to zoom in. And you have a class calendar, so you can see which chapters we're going to give on what days. This way, if you ever miss one day for any reason, and you want to make up in a different class, we have the morning class as well. You can always make it up there. If so you just check which day it will be. If you cannot do morning classes, then depending on how much you missed, so if it was more than 10% of the course, you can jump in on the next evening session. All right. You're welcome for up to one year. You're welcome to join as many classes as you'd like. I prefer that as soon as you're done with the first session, you do your school exam. And that's why we book you right away for the school exam. This way, everything is fresh, ready to go. Because the later on usually never comes, right? So we push you to get it done right away. We also added some recommended books, very much for your business, for your life. This is like a personal library. I recommend you guys get these books. The very first one is Start With Why. The next one is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Great book to shift your mindset. A lot of people are afraid of life and changes. The question should not be what if it doesn't work out. The question should be what if it does, right? Because that will change your life, and so on. So a lot of books are recommended. You guys don't have to purchase, but you can search. These are links directly to Amazon. But you guys can just search the theme, the names, the titles. If you find PDF versions, if you find audio versions, if you already have it, great, read it or listen to it. I'm more of a listener than the reader. I fall asleep right here, right? When I pick up the book, this is where I fall asleep, right? So I like audiobooks. As I'm driving, some of you are smiling because you know how it is, right? So as I'm driving, I listen to the books. It's way better for me. All right. So that's it as far as resources, but then we have each chapter. So today we're going to do chapter 1, 2, and 3, okay? Chapter 1 is just a quick intro into the real estate business, so it's very fast. It's like 8 pages, and then we're really going to start the class with chapter 2 and chapter 3. If you guys notice, there's a replay. So let's say, for instance, that there's something you did not catch in class and you did not ask in class. You know what? Watch the class again. It's there for that reason. Listen to it again, whatever way you prefer. But do take advantage because the replay is ready for you. Here, we have the chapter pages. So I broke it down per page. Each section here is a chapter, and each section has its own chapter pages, just like I'm presenting, will be presented to you guys right now. You also have the review quizzes. So at the end of each chapter, there's a quiz for it. So that's your homework. You're gonna do this in combination with your flashcards, and I can guarantee if you guys follow these simple things like replays, quizzes, and flashcards, I can almost guarantee 99.9% that you will pass. The 0.01% is going to be asking me questions. Because as you study, I'm sure you're going to have questions. So if you don't ask questions, if you don't participate, it becomes very difficult, okay? And I'm here to answer questions, not just to take your money, all right? Because that's the easiest thing to do. You guys need to register, right? I'm a different kind of instructor. I like to answer questions. I like to take my time. I like to make sure that you guys understand it. Okay, so I'm very accessible to answer questions. So make sure you do, in class, out of class. It doesn't matter when. Send me the question. Sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning I'll reply to you. Sometimes 8 o'clock in the morning I'll reply. It depends on what time I saw the message. Okay, but definitely send me messages. This is our Quizlet, right? Just so you guys know, it's our Quizlet, and I divide it into sections just like this book is. So we have the nationwide section right here at the bottom. We have the New Jersey section, some terms and acronyms, and we have here also real estate math. So that's going to be our last class. Okay. Under the nationwide section, I did not put chapter numbers. I will change it to have chapter numbers. But if you guys go here and you start typing to filter, we're going to talk about estates and interests. Here we go. So these are the flashcards for estates and interests, right? So you can go here and it gives you what it is, right? So very important, take advantage of these. You must be registered with Quizlet, which is free. They do give you sometimes if you don't pay attention, they do give you an option to pay for premium or whatever. You don't have to, because I already pay for this access for you guys, okay? So make sure you look for the option that says skip payments, unless you really want to pay for the premium. That's totally up to you. Okay. We have the Facebook group. Pretty much the Facebook group mimics the student portal and the WhatsApp group. So it's up to you which one you want to use. I literally share on one place where I share on the other. And the idea is, again, for those of you that have one thing but don't have the other, boom, everything's available. All right. Out here. Okay. All right, now just one more thing. I see right here, one more thing is cameras must be on. Second thing is I need you guys to have your name. I see 2 people with email. Make sure you correct your name. And I see one person, I guess Carlos. Make sure it shows first and last name. Very, very, very important, okay? Otherwise, when we do the attendance, because Zoom gives us the attendance. So when we do the attendance, I need to see who was here. It's very, very important. Otherwise, it doesn't count towards your hours. So cameras on, and make sure your name is always correct. You have the option to rename right now. Thank you. All right, so Joel, glad to see you. All right. Miss Johnson, please correct your name. How do you rename? You should maybe, if you right click on your name, should allow you to rename yourself. Right click on your name. To give you the option to rename yourself. With that being said, let me see the questions here in the chat while you guys are doing that. Okay. All right, in the chat we have, all right, Ahmed Badur. Hello everyone, wishing all great success. Well, on behalf of everybody, I appreciate that, and same to you. And I know you're struggling with getting the camera on, but hopefully we'll get there. All right. Carlos, make sure you rename if you can. Ahmed already explained where this is, so great. Riley also helped. I appreciate that. Thank you, Riley. Okay. How do you access Quizlet? So I just showed you it's in the student portal, but I will show you. I will give you the link here in the WhatsApp group. I'm sorry, in the Zoom group in a second. All right. Ahmed, do me a favor. What you can do is you can, because I'm about to start, but I'll give you a few minutes as well. Try to get out and come back in. So maybe that's what it is with your camera. Get out of the Zoom session, come right back in. Okay? He's like, I'm that guy. It happens, don't worry. It's first day, so the first day is where we can make all mistakes. As of tomorrow, no more mistakes, okay? All right, let's see. All right, Ms. Johnson, you change your name. Lula Lee. And Carlos, he left and he's coming back. Okay, got it. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them here. Oh, Shanice, thank you. Appreciate it. I paid Shanice to say this, by the way, just so you guys know. Paid. All right, cool. All right. So, all right, Ahmed still having issues there. Left and came back in, still nothing. It's weird. It does say that your camera is on, even though I don't see. All right, if you don't mind me asking, and again, we're really going to start. If you don't mind me asking, what system are you running? Windows, iOS, Mac, of course. So yeah, no offense. I'm not too much of a fan of Macs. One of the reasons is this: compatibility and functionality sometimes is a little difficult. So I'll give you a pass today, okay? I'll give you a pass today. Keep the Mac on and log in. I'll do this. Keep the Mac on and log in on your phone, right? If you can, but keep the Mac on so you can use the phone as a camera, and then use the Mac for you to type. This way, you're not switching back and forth. All right. All right, and I think that worked. I see you. Great. Perfect. All right, guys. So I think now everybody's here. We're gonna start. If you guys have any questions, always feel free to drop it in the Zoom chat. If you're watching on YouTube Live, you have the YouTube Live chat. Drop it there, and I'll answer the questions as we go. Okay. All right. So with that being said, the real estate business. In the real estate business, we have different types of real estate professions, which we're going to go over. Even though this course is for a salesperson, there's different types of real estate professions. There's real estate brokerage, there's professional organizations that help us better ourselves by providing either training, networking, which will be like sharing ideas, problems that we had, and again, just pure growth. Regulation and licensing, that goes back to each state. Even though there's nationwide accepted regulations, pretty much each state is the one that regulates you as a salesperson or as a broker. All right. So on the real estate professions, we're going to talk about real estate activities. Again, this chapter is going to be very quick. It's just an overview of what to expect. There's professional specialties and property type specialization. So there's nothing highlighted here in this one. Next chapter there will be. So in the broader sense, the real estate industry is the largest single industry in the American economy. And within it, one might include the construction industry itself, often considered our country's largest business, or actually asset, right? In addition, the real estate industry may be said to include the creation, management, the demolition of every residence and business facilities in the nation. So offices, warehouses, factories, stores, and special purpose buildings such as hospitals, government facilities. So as you guys can see, real estate involves a lot, not just being a salesperson helping somebody buy a single family or a multifamily. It involves everything that has to do with land or a building, any kind of building, right? So the real estate business would include as well the managing of all undeveloped land in the country, so national parks, forests, and vast quantity of unused federal property. Now, real estate professionals are individuals and business organizations whose sole enterprise is performing a real estate-related service or function. A wide range of professions is available to persons wishing to enter the real estate business, and real estate professionals perform the following property-related functions. We work, and when I say we work, it's professionals, not us salespeople, but we work both in the creation and improvement, management and maintenance, demolition, investment ownership, regulation, and transfer. Under creation and improvement, that all obviously involves mainly capital formation, financing, and construction contracting, and regulatory approvals. We can get involved in this one as well by helping somebody buy, but not the development of it. All right, so that's not our part, right? Now, in the management and maintenance, we're talking obviously about property managers, but there's the individual management and maintenance. I can buy a house and manage it myself, or I can choose to have a property manager. Demolition goes back to construction companies, removal experts, depending on what the project is. And then, as I said before, we can maintain things ourselves. So there's the investment ownership, right, where we maintain ourselves, but there's also investment ownership where we outsource management and maintenance. So again, I'm just brief overview showing you what to expect about this course, things we're going to talk about. We're going to heavily talk about regulation. And like I said, each state determines what the regulations are for different professionals. So this includes public planners, zoning administrators, building inspectors, assessors, administrators of specific federal statutes such as federal fair housing laws. And then the most common where we get involved as salespeople or as broker salespeople or as brokers, which is the transfer. Now, under transfers, what do we find? We find sales, we find exchanges, we find rentals mainly. That's where we get involved. When it transfers from one party to another, we get involved, okay? That's how we get paid, helping by facilitating the purchase or the rental of a particular property. In summary, the 6 primary functional areas are populated by professionals with the following specialties. So under creation, who participates in creation? Developers, public and private planners, architects, building contractors, space planners, mortgage lenders, bankers, title and escrow companies, insurers, real estate brokers and agents, market analysts, surveyors, engineers, public and private inspectors, mortgage brokers, security companies, attorneys, and appraisers. All these participate in the creation side, so we could be there as well. For managing and maintaining, common sense, property managers, maintenance engineers, technicians and corporate managers, asset managers, and maintenance. Under destroying, demolition contractors, excavators. Under holding, we have investors and corporate managers. Under regulating, we have assessors, zoning administrators, public planners, and building inspectors. We're going to talk about all these along the way. So there's a lot to talk about. And again, transferring is where we most participating. Again, brokers and agents, lenders and bankers, title and escrow companies, insurers, appraisers, mortgage brokers, attorneys, and surveyors. So this is where we mostly participate. Now, in addition to specializing by function, many professionals also specialize in the type of property that they work with. And I'm very adamant about this, about the fact that you figure out where your market is going to be. So I hope you understand what I'm about to say right now as a light at the end of the tunnel for you to, once you get your license, decide which avenue to take, okay? So many professionals, again, also specialize in the type of property they'll work with. According to the purpose of ownership, properties will be classified as residential, commercial, or investment properties. I usually recommend people to start with residential. Now, why do I recommend residential? And I'll go to the other ones in a second. Why do I recommend residential? Because it's the easiest. Meaning, there's always somebody that wants to buy, somebody that wants to sell, and somebody that wants to rent. Always. All right? So that's the easiest to come around. When it comes to commercial, it's a little bit more difficult because there's not too many of these out there. So there's not many people like regular homeowners that will think, oh, let me go to commercial, right? There not many people think about that. Does that make sense? So it's deals that sometimes will take a very long time to actually, all right, somebody got kicked out. Sorry. So again, these could take, like, I'm sure you guys have seen stores that are vacant for a year, 2 years, 3 years. You've seen warehouses that are vacant for 10 years, right? Commercial buildings vacant for a very long time. So commercial usually takes longer. Does it have a higher reward? Yes, because usually they're not $1,000. They're not $100,000. They're like $1 million, for instance, $20 million. Right? It depends on the type of property that you're going to be involved in. But these usually take longer to give you that type of reward. And by the way, even within residential and within commercial, there's different levels, right? And then there's investment property. Now, investment property is obviously property that's held for investment purposes. Is it the best thing for you to do? Joel, make sure you change your name. Right there. And I'm not sure why you got kicked out. Sometimes Zoom does this. Sometimes it's your internet. Sometimes it's Zoom. Everybody else has been here. So I don't know. You walked out, now you walk back in. You're good. Anyway, so talking about investment properties. The reason why I tell you not to start with investment properties also is because if you have no experience, right, in dealing with investment properties, then you're going to find investors and they're like, hey, Bruno, can you please help me find, it must be the magic pill for the rest of my life. Like, you're going to find me the best deal ever, right? And that's it. You're going to be my one guy to go to, right? That's all great. But if I don't know how to find these deals or analyze these deals, is it good or is it a bad thing, right? And you guys are going to learn later on, chapter 11, when we talk about agency. Agency is when you represent somebody. You guys are going to learn that you have to have knowledge in these things. So again, if you don't have knowledge in investments or commercial, right, which are random things, then it's going to be very difficult for you to start in that field. While residential, I'm pretty sure everybody knows a little bit of residential, right? Either as a tenant or a homeowner, or even as a landlord, right? So you have already a feel for it. It makes it a lot easier for you to start. Okay. Now, according to the use, the following classifications of real property are commonly accepted: residential income, office, retail, industrial, farm, ranch, special purpose, and land. These categories are not absolute since properties often have overlapping uses, so it could be a mixed use property. And the next thing we have is real estate brokerage. Now, can everybody tell me in the chat real quick? So let me know that you're there. You're gonna participate with me because this is what I do, right? Here I'm here waving at a camera. I'm by myself, but I want to feel like I'm here with you guys. Okay. So with that being said, and by the way, some people here know how I am. I like to interact, right, Mr. Carlos? I like to interact. So I want to make sure that you guys feel like you're here, just like I want to make sure that I feel like you're here, right? So with that being said, I want you guys to tell me, what do you feel? Forget real estate for a second. Forget real estate. I want you to tell me what this word means, brokerage. What does it mean to broker something? Let me know in the chat. What does it mean to broker? Let me know. Broker. Break down a deal and execute. Okay. Someone who buys or sells. Okay. By the way, no wrong answers today. Tomorrow, no excuses, but today, no wrong answers. Go ahead. To put together a deal or negotiate a contract. Okay. No problem. What else? Need everybody's participation. Okay, is when you pay for someone to represent you. Is that it? Anything else? Come on, there's a bunch of people here, so give me answers. All right. From YouTube, Muslima, thank you. To bring sellers and buyers together. Okay. Guys, there's no wrong answers. Come on, there's at least 16 people here. Give me all your answers. What do you feel? What do you feel that brokerage or brokering is? Brokerage or brokering? All right, and Denise says help some buyers and sellers with property transactions. Okay. Don't be shy. Tell me that you're here. Come on. I'm taking points away for those that don't answer. You start off with 1,000 points, okay? I'm taking points away for those that don't answer. Diana says you can have your own company. Okay, we'll go with that too. They're all valid answers so far. I'll explain in a second. Just give me the best you got, whatever you think it might be, without reading. Give me the best you got. Brokerage. We're not talking about real estate brokerage, just the word brokerage. What does it mean? Being part of a sales transaction. Okay, could be. Or rental. Yep. Just a few more. Come on, just a few more of you. What do you think? What do you think? That's it? I'm going to break you guys. You guys are all going to answer pretty soon. You're going to see how it is. You don't have to yell at me. I hate people yelling at me. I'm just saying right now, Mr. Pacheco, do not yell at me. Caps are not permitted. I'm the one that yells, okay? I'm the one with the mic here, okay? All right. It's the place to take care of the buyer or seller and rent the property and give the best advice. Okay. All right. That was worth yelling. Okay, fine. All right, guys. So what is brokerage? Let me clear it for you. Oh, hold on. Francesca. The business or service of acting as a broker. Was that Google? Just kidding. All right, so brokerage. Let's start with this. When you're brokering something, you are kind of like mediating. See, some of you wrote something about buying or selling. We don't buy or sell anything. We're like the Facebook of real estate. Facebook puts no content, right? So they just have the platform for people to share information, right? That's it. We're the Uber of real estate. We don't have cars, right? And we don't have drivers or passengers. We're just a platform. So as a brokerage, what we do is mediate. We bring two parties of interest together and we help them achieve their goal. So in real estate, what we do is help a buyer buy, a seller sell, and we put them together. We mediate. We broker the deal or we negotiate the deal on their behalf. But the seller sells and the buyer buys. That's it. You guys understand? We don't buy anything. We don't sell anything. We advise. We consult. We help. That's all it is. All right? So that's what real estate brokerage is. Now, most newly licensed practitioners choose to begin their real estate careers, again, as I recommend, with residential brokerage. Primary real estate brokerage activities involve the performance of one or more of the following tasks, and this is what we do. This is all we do. That's it. If we have a seller, they want us to find the buyer. If we have a buyer, they want us to find the seller. If we have a landlord, they want us to find the tenant. If you have the tenant, they want us to find the landlord. So our job is to find what one party wants, the other party has. Again, broker, mediate, we facilitate, we bring people together. That's it. Ultimately, I like to call us highly paid consultants. That's what we are, right? Consultants. Now, a seller, buyer, or landlord or tenant hires a broker to procure the opposite party to the sale or lease transaction. To help the job get done, the broker hires a licensed agent as assistants. So there's a broker of record, which, like Diana said, owns a business, right? The broker of record is the one that owns the business. And then let's say I'm the broker. I'll hire you guys to help me, to assist me in these sales transactions, right? But we're not selling anything. We're helping people. The only sale that happens is a sale of our service on behalf of the seller or on behalf of the buyer or on behalf of both, right? The brokerage company in its simplest form consists of a broker and the broker's agents who together work to locate buyers, sellers, tenants, and landlords for the broker's clients. Simple. Now, in the more modern brokerage environment, brokers and agents specialize along the following lines. Property type. We're going to go in detail. Property type, geographical area, type of transaction, type of clients, type of relationship. See, it's very simple to say, I'm a real estate salesperson. Well, that involves everything. It involves every type of property. It involves, like, I'm a New Jersey real estate salesperson, so I can sell from north to south, from east to west of Jersey. Within the borders of Jersey, I'm an active salesperson. Does that make sense? But is that the best or the wisest way to do business? No. That's why most people specialize down to the type of relationship. So under property type, some people specialize, and that's what I recommend usually for everybody, as residential agents. Some commercial agents, like office or retail even. Some industrial agents, and some just land. That's what they specialize in, depending on the areas where they live. Maybe that's the best market. As far as geographical area, I don't live in Newark right now, but I operate in Newark, New Jersey. So that's my market. I don't like to get away from this market, right? For several reasons. One of them is if I, let's say, have a potential listing down in Atlantic City, right? and I have other listings up here, how long do you think it's going to take for me to go to a listing, be back on time to show a property, right? If you want to be efficient, you want to maximize your efforts, be efficient. And to be efficient, you want to be within a certain geographical area. So narrow it down. Where is going to be your market? Be the best at that market, and you'll never have to go to a different area, right? Everything else, you can refer. So what I do mainly now is referrals. If I don't have the time, because I dedicate to this and I love what I do, if I don't have the time, I'll talk to one of our agents and say, hey, I have a lead for this particular area. Are you interested? Right? If it's your area, why not? But I'm not stepping out of my way to go over there. So I get to collect, let's say 25%, 30%, 35%, whatever we negotiate. I get to collect a percentage of your efforts by referring to you. And every single salesperson can do this. Become the pro in your area and you'll never run out of business, right? Now, obviously, if your market, if your area that you think it's specializing in doesn't have many sales, then maybe you want to grab one or two more areas surrounding. Does that make sense? Right? But try to narrow down to what your market is. It's not possible to keep track of every property in the larger markets, right? Type of transaction. You can even break this down to the type of transaction. What do you want to be? Do you want to deal more, like I have a friend of mine that all he did, believe it or not, was leases, rentals, and he did not want anything to do with sales of property till today. Even though he's licensed, right? Even though he's licensed as a salesperson, he does not want to do sales. He does other stuff, but when he was there, when he was active, he just wanted to do leases. Why leases? For him, it was a great opportunity because he was a great influence in the community, right? So a lot of people went to him for rentals, right? And every rental came with an application, and rentals have a quicker turnover, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So because they have a quicker turnover, he was making anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 a month just on rentals. Am I saying that this is going to work for you? No. Am I saying that this is the best thing to do? No. The good thing about rentals is, again, high turnover. It's fast. You don't have to wait 3 or 4 months to close on the rental, right? The rental is simply, you like this unit? Great, rent it. Give me my check. Walk away, right? Where a purchase and sale agreement could take anywhere between 2, 3, or even 4 months to close, depending on the delays that the market has right now, depending on people, right? Appraisers, mortgage companies, title companies, all that stuff. It gives you more money per deal, but it also takes longer to close. So again, that's why it's so important for you to know what you're going to deal with. Specialize in something. Others focus on the type of clients. I have also another person that I deal with, not from my agency, but for years, he mainly represents sellers. That's all he wants to do. He's like the best at getting listings. That's all he does. In his company, he was a top listing agent for years in a row, right? At one time, this guy had 130 something listings, active listings, 130 something active listings, right? He specializes in it so much that everybody would turn to him for listings. You guys understand? You have any questions so far? Questions, drop them in the chat if you do. Oh, I have a rule for questions. If you have a question, the first thing you have to do before you drop the question in the chat is put a question mark, right? This way I know that you're typing something, right? And I'll wait for you to type your question. Or if it's a very long question, we're going to shift things a little bit because in my morning class, I have 2 people that type the whole book as a question. So we're going to shift a bit, okay? So if it's a question that's short, can be typed, put a question mark. Otherwise, put question mark and put mic. And I will give you the mic for you to speak, okay? Is that a deal? Thumbs up if that's a deal. Perfect. Just make sure you're asking questions. That's key. For you to pass, for you to succeed, it's key that you ask questions. All right. Now, some of the individual brokerage services that you might perform for a preset fee are called comparative market analysis. Most of the times we call these CMAs. Okay, CMAs, not the Country Music Awards. It's comparative price analysis or comparative market analysis. All right. Database search, prospect screening, and site analysis. And we can charge fees for this. So there's so many ways to make money in real estate. It's not just, hey, you want to buy, you want to sell, let me put you guys together. No. So many other ways. I'll charge you X amount of dollars to do a market report. I'll charge you X amount of dollars to do a CMA. Now, you could do it for free if that's going to be your client, right? Or you can charge for it. It's totally up to you. Most CMAs we do for free. Okay? Now, very important that you develop two things. One of them is knowledge. And you guys are going to learn this along the way as well. That if you don't learn, if you don't try to improve yourself, right? So knowledge and skills is the next one. If you don't try to improve yourself as years go by, if you're still stuck in ground zero, right? You're being held liable for not knowing, for not caring, for being negligent in your business. So our job is to acquire enough knowledge, right? And with that knowledge, develop the required skills, right? To help our clients or customers achieve their goal. So knowledge in what exactly? Most important of all, market conditions. Because if you don't know what's happening to the market, you're going to be talking about something that happened 10 years ago. And the market is changing, right? I don't know if you guys were around when the market crashed. But right before the market crash, we were almost in the same market as we are right now, right? And then the market crashed drastically, and a lot of people did not adapt. Because they did not adapt, they walked away from the real estate business, and then they're like, you know what, whatever. Real estate was not for me anyway. It was great while properties were selling by themselves, right? This is key because real estate is here forever. As I said when I started this class, there's always somebody that wants to buy, somebody that wants to sell, and somebody that wants to rent. In fact, there's always somebody getting married, somebody getting divorced, somebody being born, somebody dying, right? There's always somebody. So real estate is the type of business that's eternal. It will never end. It's the perfect business for anybody. Does that make sense? Right? And I'm not here promoting real estate as the answer for all, because I also do other things, not just real estate, right? But real estate is like that solid thing that all you have to do is adapt to market conditions. Gain the knowledge to adapt to market conditions and then develop those skills, okay? And these market conditions are at a local level. Somebody just came in here a few minutes ago, one of my agents, and we're talking about a big project in East Orange. I'm helping them with the project, but then I told them, as far as this project, I have experience, right? What do you need to do? I know what to tell you. East Orange, not my market, so I have no idea. So you have to become the professional in that area, right? And I'll help you, giving you guidance based on my experience in Newark, right? I'll help you with that, of analyzing markets, of analyzing what particular properties are doing in that type of market. I'll help you with that, but you have to know the people in East Orange, not me. You understand? So the project is a big project. It involves the city of East Orange. So he needs to get to know people there, right? And I just gave him the hints on how to get there. And today he showed up and he said, hey, I got the person. We got the meeting. Need you to be there. Is that okay? Right? So for the other side of the project, the development side, I can jump in and help. Other than that, it's not my market, right? It's not the type of property that I deal with on a regular basis, so no. You need to understand real estate principles, which you'll learn here over the next couple of weeks. Real estate law, which you'll learn here over the next couple of weeks. Value estimation, you're going to learn when we get to chapter 16. Real estate financing, that will be chapter 17. Investment principles, chapter 18, so it's in order, it's perfect, right? license laws. It's going to be the end of this session, the national session, and then the state portion. So you're going to learn all this stuff. And yes, there's math. So for those of you that love math, we have a chapter just for math. Okay, that's the final chapter. It's like the final goodbye before you take the exam. And that's how I'll let you go with math. A headache for some, a blessing for others. We're also going to learn about closing procedures in chapter 21. But it's important you guys have knowledge of these things. And over the years, you develop the skills needed. You develop the skills needed for financial qualification. You shouldn't need to sit down with a mortgage professional, right? You shouldn't need to sit down with a mortgage professional without asking your client a few questions and knowing, okay, all right, before we sit down with a mortgage professional, these are the things I need to know. Where are you financially, right? Then I can advise you on a few things, and then I'll bring you to the mortgage professional. Market analysis, marketing practices, how you market a property is so important. Ethical. All right, this is something that you guys are going to learn. We're going to talk about it here in New Jersey, for instance. Every 2 years, you have to do at least 2 hours of ethics. What does that mean? Every 2 years, we need to remind you, if you guys don't know what ethic is, or what are ethics, we need to remind you what's right and what's wrong, what you should do and what you should not do, every 2 years as a reminder. It's like you guys are kids, right? And we tell you, hey, don't touch there. And what do people do? Well, but it feels so good to touch. Boom. And you guys do it. 2 years later, I told you not to touch there. This is the law. This is what you have to do. Before you renew your license, make sure you understood what's right and what's wrong. Every 2 years. All right? Liability management. So we have a chapter on risk management, on how to reduce the risk. One of them, again, knowledge, developing knowledge, skills, and obviously having insurance to protect you in case you make mistakes. Because after all, we're human, right? We're all human, so we have to make sure that we're protected. Just like driving a car, you might make a mistake on the road, especially when you're watching Instagram or maybe TikTok or something while driving. You might make a mistake and just hit somebody. You never know, right? Those of you smiling, I know that's what you do while driving. Yep, gotcha. I'll call the cops on you, don't worry. Data management, so keeping records. Skills on selling, because you're advertising somebody's property. Like I said, be efficient. Time management, very important. Communicating, writing, and basic computer operations, especially now because everything is done with a computer or with a phone. All right? Your whole life is going to be right here in an app or two, right? So very, very important you guys develop the skills you need. All right? Now, as I said, for you to develop these skills, you need to go through trainings. Some of these trainings are provided by trade organizations, and we're going to be done with this chapter. But some of these trade organizations are American Society of Appraisers, American Society of Home Inspectors, BOMA for property managers, CCIM for commercial properties, Cornet Global for international properties, Counselors of Real Estate. IREM is also for property management, and so on. So there's several. The one that most likely you guys will belong to immediately is called National Association of Realtors. Now, you're going to be associated with the National Association of Realtors through your broker. What does that mean? If your broker is part of this association, you have to be part of the association. And every year it renews. But again, trainings for property management, for short sales and foreclosures, how to deal with buyers, how to deal with sellers. Specialized trainings are provided by these associations. Okay? So it's very, very important that you're part of some of these as you grow in your niche. So niche or niche, whatever way you guys want to say it. But let's say you're going to deal with industrial property. Then you want to go to SIOR.com and become a member and go through their training if industrial property is going to be your market, right? So again, things that you guys need to think. All right. As far as regulation and licensing, like I said, The real estate industry is regulated by every level of the government, federal and state statutes, as well as large body of court decisions, generally referred to as common law. Common law is what's been accepted regularly in court decisions. Now, they circumscribe how real estate can be developed, managed, and transferred. Among the laws most relevant to agents and brokers are those relating to agency, which is employer-employee relationship, contracts, disclosure, environmental impact, so what you can do or not with a property, and fair housing, which is discrimination. In addition to federal, state, and local laws and regulations, the real estate industry is to a degree self-regulated by the code of ethic conduct that is propounded by the industry's many trade organizations. So all of them have some type of code of ethics, which I just said before is knowing what's right and what's wrong when dealing with a consumer or dealing with other professionals. All right? Now, ultimately, I'll keep on saying this because we have our final week is going to be strictly state. Ultimately, the state real estate license laws comprise of the primary body of laws and regulations governing the real estate brokerage practice. License laws in each state specify who must obtain a license to practice real estate and set the requirements for obtaining and maintaining a license. License laws also define the critical aspects of real estate brokerage, including procedures. We're going to learn all this stuff. Procedures for handling escrow deposits and fees, procedures for advertising, and guidelines for dealing with clients and customers. Every state creates something called a real estate commission. It might be real estate department, it might be the real estate commission or committee, and they're charged, or their responsibility is administering and enforcing license laws. In addition, they may also pass regulations that further refine or clarify state statutes. So real estate commission is a small organization defined by the state to enforce state statutes or even create their own regulations. All right? So guys, this is the quick intro that we have into the real estate business. Before we proceed to the next part, do you have any questions you'd like to address at this moment regarding this chapter so far? Regarding the intro, regarding what you expected? If you have any questions, drop the question mark. Let me know. I promise the next chapters will be a little slower and more focused. This was just the intro to the real estate business. All right. So since we have no questions, guys, sorry. Since we have no questions, this is what I'm going to do. Between each chapter, I usually give anywhere between 5 to 10 minute break, depending on the chapter and what we have next. So in this case, it's just a 5-minute break that we're going to have. It is now 6:50. So 6:55, we will be back, guys. Just make sure you turn your cameras on as soon as we get back, okay? So go for your coffee, go for your tea, go for your water, go do jumping jacks so you can stay awake, whatever works. We'll be right back, guys.